The silver ship moved slowly through the dark space between stars. Its name was Harmony's Edge, and it carried scientists from many different worlds. They had been traveling for 3 months to reach this place that no one visited anymore. Dr. Zethkar looked at the screen in front of him. His blue skin had small scales that moved when he was worried, and right now they were moving a lot. He had 4 arms, which was normal for his people, and he used 2 of them to touch the controls while the other 2 held his research notes. "We are getting close to the dead zone," said Commander Veltara from her seat at the front of the ship. She was tall and thin, with purple skin and large black eyes. Her people were known for being the best at flying ships through dangerous space. "Are you sure we need to go this close?" Dr. Zethkar made a sound that meant yes in his language. "The Galactic Research Council wants us to do one last study before they close this area forever. After today, no ship will be allowed to come here again." The other scientists on the ship looked scared. There were 8 of them total, all from different worlds. They had heard stories about this star system their whole lives. Parents told children about it to make them behave. "If you are bad, we will send you to the Deadlands," they would say. The star system had been marked as dangerous for over 3,000 years. The record said it was full of deadly radiation that could kill most life forms in just a few hours. The 3rd planet from the star was the worst. It had been hit by some terrible disaster long ago, and nothing could live there anymore. "Look at these readings," said Dr. Mirasin, a small green scientist with 6 eyes. She was an expert on planets and what made them safe or dangerous for life. "The radiation levels are 10 times higher than what most of us can survive. And the atmosphere on that 3rd planet, it would burn our lungs if we tried to breathe." Commander Veltara checked her instruments. "We will stay at the edge of the system. That should be safe enough for our work." She had been flying ships for 40 years and had never lost a crew member. She did not want to start now. The ship's computer began to beep. New information was coming in from their long-distance sensors. Dr. Zethkar looked at the data and his scales moved even faster. "This cannot be right," he said, using all 4 of his hands to work with the computer. "Run the scan again." "What is wrong?" asked Commander Veltara. "The computer says there are artificial structures on the 3rd planet, buildings, cities. But that is impossible. Nothing can live there." The other scientists came over to look at the screen. The images were not very clear because they were so far away, but they could see shapes that looked like they were made by intelligent beings. There were straight lines and patterns that nature did not make by itself. "Maybe they are very old," suggested Dr. Kelleron, who studied ancient civilizations. "Perhaps some people lived there before the disaster that made the planet deadly." Dr. Zethkar shook his head, which looked strange because his people had longer necks than most. "No, look at this data. These structures are giving off energy. Heat, electromagnetic signals. They are active." The bridge became very quiet. Everyone knew what this meant, but no one wanted to say it out loud. "There is life on that planet," whispered Dr. Mirazin. Commander Veltara felt cold even though the ship was warm. "But how is that possible? Our best scientists say nothing can survive in those conditions." Dr. Zethkar was working quickly now, trying to get more information. "I am picking up radio waves, very primitive but definitely artificial. Someone down there is broadcasting signals." "Maybe they are asking for help," said Dr. Yiltar, a young scientist on his first mission. "Maybe they are trapped and trying to call for rescue." The idea made everyone feel sick. If there were people living on that poisonous planet, they must be suffering terribly. The radiation alone would cause horrible pain and slow death for any normal life form. "We have to contact the Galactic Council right away," said Commander Veltara. "This changes everything." "Wait," said Dr. Zethkar. "Let me try to understand these radio signals first. If we can figure out what they are saying, we might know how to help them." He connected the ship's computer to the radio receiver and began to work. The signals were very strange. There were many different kinds all mixed together. Some sounded like voices talking, others like music, and still others like pure information being sent from one place to another. "I have never heard anything like this," Dr. Zethkar said. "It is like they have hundreds of different groups all talking at the same time. But how can there be so many survivors on such a deadly world? Dr. Mirison was looking at more detailed scans of the planet. The surface temperature varies wildly. Some places are frozen, others are extremely hot. There are massive storms that would destroy most buildings. Yet the structures I see look normal, not like emergency shelters or underground bunkers. Maybe they built their cities inside protective domes, suggested Dr. Kelleron. No, said Dr. Mirison, pointing at her screen. Look at this. I can see what looks like transportation systems, roads, networks connecting different areas. This does not look like a dying civilization trying to survive. This looks like... She stopped talking because she could not believe what she was thinking. This looks like what? Asked Commander Veltara. This looks like a normal, healthy civilization, like they chose to live there. The words hung in the air like a puzzle that made no sense. How could anyone choose to live in a place that would kill them? It was like choosing to live inside a star or at the bottom of an ocean of acid. Dr. Zethkar's scales had stopped moving. He was staring at his instruments with all 6 of his eyes wide open. I think, he said slowly, we need to try to talk to them. Dr. Zethkar worked for 3 hours to separate the different radio signals coming from the third planet. His 4 hands moved quickly across the controls while the other scientists watched. Finally, he found something that sounded like voices, having conversations. Listen to this, he said, playing the sound through the ship's speakers. Strange voices filled the bridge. The words were unlike any language in the galactic database, but the rhythm sounded like people talking to each other. Sometimes they laughed. Sometimes they sounded serious. It was very different from a distress call. They sound happy, said Dr. Mirison. Are we sure they need help? Commander Veltara was confused. Maybe they do not know how much danger they are in. The radiation must be affecting their minds. Meanwhile, on the third planet that the aliens called Deadly, Captain Jake Martinez was having his morning coffee at the Deep Space Monitoring Station in Colorado. He was a normal human man, 35 years old, with brown hair and tired eyes from working night shifts. Sir, we have something strange on the long-range sensors, said Lieutenant Amy Foster, a young woman with red hair who ran the computer systems. Jake walked over to her station. What kind of strange? Unknown ships at the edge of our solar system. 3 of them staying about 50 million miles out. They have been there for 6 hours, just sitting still. Jake felt his heart beat faster. This was what everyone had been trained for, but hoped would never happen. Are you sure they are not ours? Positive, sir. The design is completely different from anything we have ever built. And sir, they are big. Much bigger than our largest ships. Jake picked up his phone and called his boss. Within minutes, the call had gone up the chain to President Lisa Campbell in Washington. She was a strong woman in her 50s who had dealt with many crises, but never anything like this. How long until we can get more information? She asked. General Bob Stevens, the head of military space operations. We are moving our best observation satellites into position now. Should have better images in 2 hours. At the International Space Research Center in Texas, Dr. Elena Rodriguez was pulled out of a meeting about asteroid mining. She was the world's best expert on languages and communication. She had learned 23 human languages and had spent years thinking about how to talk to aliens if they ever showed up. Pack your bags, her boss told her. You are going to Colorado. We might need you to figure out how to talk to visitors. Back on the alien ship, Dr. Zethkar had made an important discovery. I found mathematical patterns in some of their broadcasts. They are sending out numbers in sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then prime numbers. Then what looks like basic physics equations. That proves they are intelligent, said Dr. Kelleron. But why are they broadcasting this information? Maybe it is for us, suggested Dr. Yiltar. Maybe they know we are here and they are trying to show us they can think. Commander Veltara made a decision. We will try to contact them using standard Galactic First Contact Protocol. Send them mathematical sequences back, then basic pictures. Dr. Zethkar began transmitting simple mathematical patterns toward the planet. He sent the numbers 1 through 10, then basic addition and multiplication. After that, he sent digital pictures of simple shapes, circles, squares, triangles. On Earth, every radio telescope and listening station suddenly picked up the alien signals. The patterns were clear and obviously artificial. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, who had just arrived in Colorado, looked at the data with excitement and fear. "They are trying to talk to us," she told Captain Jake Martinez. "This is basic mathematical communication, first contact protocol." "What do we send back?" Jake asked. Elena thought for a moment. "The same thing, but slightly different. Show them we understand and that we can think too." The human response went out 30 minutes later. They sent back the same mathematical sequences, but added more complex equations. They also sent pictures of the solar system, showing Earth's position and simple drawings of human figures. When the alien ship received the human response, the bridge became very excited. Dr. Zethkar's scales were moving so fast they looked like they were vibrating. They answered. They understood our message and answered back. "Look at these pictures," said Dr. Mirasin. "They are showing us their star system. And these drawings, I think these are pictures of what they look like." The drawings showed stick, figures with 2 arms and 2 legs, much like several species in the galaxy, but without any protective equipment. "Wait," said Dr. Kelleran, studying the images carefully. "These pictures show them living on the surface of the planet, in the open air, without any protection from the radiation." Commander Veltara felt a chill run through her body. "That is impossible. The radiation would kill them in hours." Dr. Zethkar was working frantically with his computer. "I am sending them warning messages, pictures of radiation symbols, danger signs, offers of evacuation help." The human response came back quickly. Dr. Elena Rodriguez had worked with a team of scientists and artists to create a message. They sent pictures of humans doing everyday activities, walking outside, playing sports, working in fields, swimming in oceans. "I do not understand," said Dr. Mirasin, looking at the human pictures. "They are showing us people living normal lives in conditions that should kill them instantly." Dr. Yiltar had an idea that scared him. "What if the conditions that we think are deadly are not deadly to them?" The other scientists stared at him. It was like suggesting that someone could live in fire or breathe underwater. "That is impossible," said Commander Veltara. "No known life form can survive those radiation levels." "But we are looking at proof that they do survive," Dr. Zethkar said quietly. "Not just survive. They seem to be doing well." The aliens sent more messages to Earth, trying to warn the humans about the dangers of their world. They sent pictures of their own people wearing heavy protective suits, symbols for radiation and poison, and images of safer planets where the humans could live. Dr. Elena Rodriguez looked at the alien warnings with growing understanding. "I think I know what is happening," she told the assembled team of scientists and military officers. "They think our world is deadly. They are trying to save us from our own planet." "But why would they think that?" asked General Stevens. Elena pointed to the radiation warning symbols the aliens had sent. "Look at these. They are warning us about radiation levels that are completely normal for Earth. I think they come from worlds with much lower radiation. To them, our normal environment looks like a death trap." Captain Jake Martinez shook his head in amazement. "So they think we are dying and we think we are fine." "Exactly. And they probably think we are incredibly brave or incredibly stupid for living here." The humans decided to send a new message. They showed pictures of Earth cities, forests, and oceans. They included images of happy families, children playing, and people living long, healthy lives. They wanted the aliens to understand that Earth was not a place of suffering, but a place where humans belonged. When the aliens received this message, they sat in stunned silence. The images showed a world full of life and activity, not the desperate survival they had expected, but a thriving civilization that seemed comfortable in conditions no other known species could endure. "Either they are the bravest people in the galaxy," whispered Dr. Yiltar, "or they are completely different from anything we have ever known." Dr. Zethkar looked at his fellow scientists. "I think," he said slowly. We need to learn much more about these humans. After 2 weeks of sending messages back and forth, both sides were getting frustrated. The aliens kept sending warnings about danger, and the humans kept sending pictures of normal life on Earth. Dr. Zethkar was starting to think the humans did not understand how much trouble they were in. Maybe their brains are damaged by the radiation, he said to Commander Veltara. That would explain why they seem so happy living in such a terrible place. But Dr. Mirasin had been studying the human messages very carefully. She was beginning to see something that made her feel strange inside. Look at this, she said, showing the others a picture the humans had sent. This shows their atmospheric composition. The other aliens gathered around her screen. The humans had sent detailed information about their air, trying to help the aliens understand their world better. 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, Dr. Mirasin read. But this is impossible. Oxygen at this concentration would be toxic to most species we know. Dr. Kelleron checked his database. She is right. Most of our people breathe atmospheres with less than 5% oxygen. This much oxygen would burn our lungs. And look at this temperature data, Dr. Mirazin continued. They are showing us temperatures that range from well below freezing to extremely hot, yet they seem to live in all these areas. On Earth, Dr. Elena Rodriguez was having similar thoughts. She had been working day and night to understand the alien messages. The more she learned, the more she realized something important. I think I understand the problem, she told President Lisa Campbell during a video call. These aliens come from very different worlds than ours. What is normal for us is deadly for them. What do you mean? Asked the president. Elena pulled up charts on her computer. Every warning they send us is about things that are perfectly normal on Earth. Radiation levels that are standard background radiation for us. Oxygen levels that we need to breathe. Temperatures that we find comfortable. General Stevens joined the conversation. Are you saying they think our normal environment is poisonous? Exactly. And we keep sending them pictures of people living normal lives, which probably looks impossible to them. Meanwhile, Captain Jake Martinez was coordinating with scientists around the world. Dr. Amy Carter, a biologist from Australia, had made an important discovery. I have been comparing the alien warnings with our environmental data, she said during a global conference call. If we reverse their perspective, everything makes sense. They are not from worlds like Earth. How different could they be? Asked Dr. Paul Green, a physicist from England. Amy showed them her analysis. Based on what they consider dangerous, I think they come from worlds with very low radiation, thin atmospheres, and mild temperatures. What we call a normal sunny day would probably kill them. The breakthrough came when Dr. Zethkar decided to send the humans detailed information about his own homeworld. He wanted to show them what a safe planet looked like, hoping they would want to escape their terrible conditions. When the humans received the alien planet data, Dr. Elena Rodriguez almost could not believe what she was reading. Their homeworld has radiation levels that are almost zero, she told her team. The atmosphere is so thin that humans could not breathe it, and the surface temperature never changes more than a few degrees. Dr. Carter looked at the data with amazement. This is incredible. They live on worlds that we would consider almost lifeless. No wonder they think Earth is deadly. The humans decided to send a very detailed message back to the aliens. They included scientific data about human biology, showing how humans were adapted to live on Earth. They sent information about human evolution, explaining that humans had developed over millions of years to survive in Earth's conditions. When Dr. Zethkar received this message, he called all the other scientists to look at it together. What they saw changed everything they thought they knew about life in the universe. According to this data, Dr. Zethkar said slowly, humans need the radiation levels on their planet to stay healthy. Without it, they would get sick. Dr. Mirazin was studying the human biological information. And look at this. They breathe oxygen at concentrations that would kill us, but they cannot survive without it. Their normal body temperature is higher than the temperature that would give most of us fever, added Dr. Kelleron. Commander Veltara sat down heavily in her chair. Are you telling me that what we call the Deadlands is actually a normal, healthy world for these humans? It appears so, said Dr. Zethkar. They are not suffering. They are not dying. They are living exactly where they belong. The implications hit all of them at the same time. For 3,000 years, the galaxy had avoided this star system because it was too dangerous for life. But it was not too dangerous for life. It was too dangerous for their kind of life. Dr. Yiltar was the first to speak. If humans can live in conditions that would kill us in hours, then they might be the strongest species in the galaxy. On Earth, the humans were having similar thoughts. Dr. Elena Rodriguez was briefing world leaders about what they had learned. We now know why we never found signs of alien life, she explained. We were looking in the wrong places. We were looking for life on planets like Earth. But most aliens come from worlds that we would consider barely habitable. President Campbell asked the obvious question. Does this mean Earth is special? In a way, yes. Earth appears to be much more hostile than most worlds that support life. We evolved to survive in conditions that most aliens cannot even visit safely. Dr. Carter added more information. Based on the alien data, most inhabited worlds in the galaxy have very stable, mild environments. No extreme weather, low radiation, thin atmospheres. They would find Earth terrifying. General Stevens understood the military implications immediately. So we are naturally adapted to survive in conditions that would be lethal to most potential enemies. Not just survive, Dr. Elena corrected. Thrive. We are not just living on Earth despite its harsh conditions. We are living on Earth because of its conditions. This is what made us strong. Back on the alien ship, the scientists were trying to process this new understanding. Dr. Zethkar was looking at star charts, seeing them in a completely different way. If humans can live on worlds we consider uninhabitable, he said, then there might be thousands of worlds in the galaxy that could support human life, worlds we never even considered because they seem too dangerous. Dr. Mirazin nodded. And if there are humans, there might be other species like them, species that evolved on worlds we think are impossible for life. Commander Veltara made a decision that would change everything. We need to contact the Galactic Council immediately. This discovery will change how we think about life in the universe. Dr. Zethkar began preparing a message to send back to the galactic government. But first, he wanted to send one more message to the humans. What should we tell them? Asked Dr. Yiltar. Dr. Zethkar thought for a moment. We should tell them the truth. That we have spent 3,000 years being afraid of their home. And that we would very much like to learn how they became so strong. The message that went to Earth was simple but important. The aliens explained that they came from worlds very different from Earth. They said that what humans called home, the galaxy called impossible. And they asked if they could learn more about how humans lived in such an amazing place. When Dr. Elena Rodriguez read the alien message, she smiled for the first time in weeks. I think, she told her team, this is the beginning of a very interesting friendship. 3 months after the first messages were exchanged, Dr. Zethkar made a request that shocked everyone on his ship. He wanted to visit Earth's surface. That is suicide, said Commander Veltara. The radiation alone would kill you in less than an hour. We have the best environmental suits in the galaxy, Dr. Zethkar replied. And we need to see this for ourselves. The Galactic Council will never believe our reports unless we have direct evidence. Dr. Mirazin agreed with him. We have spent our whole lives studying planets and life. We cannot pass up the chance to see something this extraordinary. Commander Veltara knew they were right, but she was scared. She had never lost a crew member, and Earth seemed like the most dangerous place in the galaxy, but she also knew this was too important to ignore. We will take every precaution, she said finally. Heavy suits, limited time on the surface, and we stay close to the ship. On Earth, President Lisa Campbell was having similar concerns. The idea of aliens visiting was exciting but also dangerous. What if their technology failed? What if they got hurt? We will build a special facility, she decided. somewhere safe where we can meet them and help them if something goes wrong. The International Contact Facility was built in Nevada in just 2 months. It had special rooms where the aliens could stay in their own atmosphere, and meeting areas where both species could interact safely. Dr. Elena Rodriguez moved there to lead the human side of the first face-to-face meeting. When the alien shuttle landed in the Nevada desert, Dr. Tom Bradley was amazed by what he saw. He was a mechanical engineer who had been chosen to show the aliens human technology. The alien ship was beautiful, but looked incredibly fragile compared to human spacecraft. Their ship is built for gentle conditions, he told his team. Look at how thin the hull is. It would never survive launching from Earth. Dr. Zethkar stepped out of his ship wearing a suit that looked like a small spaceship. It was thick and covered with sensors and life support systems. Walking in Earth's gravity was difficult for him, and the suit made it even harder. The radiation readings are incredible, he said to his team through the radio. We are getting more radiation in 1 minute than we would get in a month on my homeworld. Dr. Elena Rodriguez greeted the alien visitors at the facility entrance. She had studied their language for months and could speak simple phrases. Welcome to Earth, she said in the alien language. We are happy to meet you. Dr. Zethkar was surprised that she could speak his language. Through his suit's translator, he replied, We are honored to visit your world, though we do not understand how you survive here. The first meeting took place in a special room with thick glass walls. The aliens stayed in their protective atmosphere, while the humans breathed normal air. Dr. Zethkar could hardly believe what he was seeing. You are standing in normal air, he said, amazement clear in his voice. The oxygen levels would kill me in minutes, yet you look completely comfortable. Doctor, Elena smiled. This is what we breathe every day. For us, your atmosphere would be too thin, we would suffocate. Over the next few days, the cultural exchange taught both sides incredible things. Dr. Amy Carter, a biologist, explained human evolution to the fascinated aliens. We developed over millions of years in Earth's conditions, she explained. The audio, radiation, the oxygen, the gravity, the temperature changes, all of this made us what we are. Dr. Mirazin was taking notes constantly. On my world, conditions have been stable for millions of years. Very little change, very little challenge. I think this is why we are not as strong as humans. The aliens were amazed when Dr. Tom Bradley showed them a normal human construction site. Through their suits' cameras, they watched humans working in direct sunlight, breathing the open air, lifting heavy objects. This is impossible, Dr. Kelleron said. The radiation levels at that construction site would require emergency evacuation on any world I know. For us, it is just a normal workday, Tom replied. We have been working in these conditions for thousands of years. The humans were equally amazed by what they learned about alien worlds. Commander Betty Walsh, a military officer, listened as the aliens described their home planets. Most of our worlds have very gentle weather, explained Dr. Yiltar. Temperature, changes of more than 10 degrees are considered extreme. We have never seen storms like the ones you show us on Earth. Betty showed them videos of humans surfing in ocean storms, climbing mountains in snow and working in deserts. To the aliens, these looked like scenes from the most dangerous adventure movies. Do you do these things for fun? Asked Dr. Zethkar. Yes, Betty laughed. We call them sports. Many humans enjoy challenging themselves against Earth's environment. The aliens could not understand this concept. On their worlds, people tried to avoid any environmental challenges. The idea of seeking them out for enjoyment was completely foreign to them. Dr. Elena arranged for the aliens to observe a human sporting event through their cameras. They watched a football game where humans ran into each other while wearing minimal protection. They are hitting each other on purpose, Dr. Mirazin said in shock. And they seem to enjoy it. Physical contact. Sports are very popular on Earth, Dr. Elena explained. We have many games where people compete using strength and speed. On my world, accidental physical contact requires medical attention, Dr. Zethkar replied. Our bodies are much more fragile than yours. The most amazing demonstration came when Tom Bradley showed the aliens a normal human factory. Workers were operating heavy machinery, working with high temperatures and handling materials that would be deadly to most alien species. This is just regular manufacturing, Tom explained. We make these products every day for normal use on Earth. Dr. Kelron studied the factory through his suit's sensors. The temperatures in that facility would melt most of our equipment. The chemicals being used would dissolve our skin. Yet your workers seem relaxed and comfortable. Because for us, these are normal working conditions, Tom said. We built our civilization around Earth's environment, not despite it. The aliens began to understand that humans were not just survivors of a harsh world. They were a species that had become strong because of their world's challenges. Every aspect of human technology, culture, and biology reflected adaptation to conditions that other species found impossible. I think I understand now, Dr. Zethkar said on their last day at the facility. You do not live on Earth despite its dangers. You live on Earth because of its advantages. Dr. Elena nodded. Earth made us strong, flexible, and capable of handling challenges. What you call deadly, we call home. Commander Veltara had been quiet during most of the exchanges, but now she spoke up. I have been thinking about this for days. If humans can live comfortably in conditions we find impossible, then there are probably many worlds in the galaxy that we think are uninhabitable, but could actually support life. Exactly, said Dr. Amy Carter. We have been looking for life in the wrong places. We were looking for Earth-like worlds, but most aliens come from worlds that are much gentler than Earth. Dr. Zethkar was excited by this idea. There could be entire regions of space that we have never explored because we thought they were too dangerous. But they might be perfect for species like humans. As the aliens prepared to leave Earth, they carried with them a completely new understanding of what was possible for life in the universe. They had met a species that thrived in conditions that would kill most other known life forms. We will tell the Galactic Council everything we have learned, Dr. Zethkar promised. I think they will be very interested in meeting humans. Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched the alien ship disappear into the sky. She knew that this was just the beginning. Earth had been discovered by the galaxy and everything was about to change. 6 months after Dr. Zethkar returned to his ship, everything changed for both humans and aliens. The Galactic Council had received his report and could hardly believe what they read. After long debates and many questions, they made a decision that surprised everyone. We want to invite humans to join the galactic community, announced Council Leader Vorthak during a special message to Earth. But not in the way we usually invite new species. President Lisa Campbell gathered her advisors to listen to the alien proposal. Dr. Elena Rodriguez translated the message as it came through. They are offering us something called associate membership, she explained. It means we would be partners with the galaxy, but we would keep control of our own space. What do they want from us? Asked General Stevens. Elena continued reading. The alien message. They want our help with something they call extreme environment projects. There are many worlds in the galaxy that they cannot use because the conditions are too harsh for normal alien species. The offer was incredible. Humans would get access to galactic technology and knowledge. In return, they would help explore and colonize worlds that other species found too dangerous. Captain Steve Logan was chosen to command the first human ship to leave the solar system. His ship was called Terra's Pride, and it was built using both human and alien technology. The alien parts helped it travel faster than light, while the human parts made it strong enough to survive in dangerous conditions. This feels like the most important trip in human history, Steve told his crew as they prepared to launch. We are not just going to visit aliens. We are going to show them what humans can do. The crew of Terra's Pride included people from every continent on Earth. Dr. Nancy Fisher, a diplomat from Canada, would speak for humanity at the Galactic Assembly. Engineer Bill Watson from Texas would demonstrate human technology. Dr. Sarah Park, a biologist from Korea, would show how humans adapted to different environments. The journey to the galactic capital took 2 weeks. When they arrived, Steve could hardly believe what he saw. The space station was enormous, bigger than any city on Earth, but it looked fragile and delicate, built for gentle conditions and peaceful species. Look at their docking ports, said Bill Watson. They are designed for ships that barely have any armor. Our ship probably looks like a tank to them. Dr. Nancy Fisher was nervous as she prepared for her speech to the Galactic Assembly. She would be the first human to address thousands of alien species at once. She had practiced her speech many times, but standing in front of so many different types of aliens was still frightening. The Galactic Assembly Hall was a marvel of alien engineering. Representatives from over 200 species sat in special areas designed for their different atmospheric needs. Some breathed gases that would poison others. Some needed different gravity levels. Some could only survive in very cold or very warm conditions. When Dr. Nancy Fisher stepped up to speak, the entire hall became quiet. She began her speech in the common galactic language that Dr. Elena Rodriguez had taught her. "Honored representatives," she said, "I come to you from a world that you have called the Deadlands for 3,000 years. But we do not call it the Deadlands. We call it home." She explained how humans had evolved on Earth, becoming strong and adaptable. She talked about how Earth's challenges had made humanity capable of surviving in conditions that most aliens found impossible. "You see our world as the end of habitability," she continued, "but we see it as the beginning of possibility. What you call deadly, we call opportunity." The alien representatives listened with growing amazement. Dr. Nancy showed them videos of human cities, human technology, and human achievements. She showed them how humans had learned to live in every environment on Earth, from frozen mountains to burning deserts. "We offer our partnership to the galaxy," she concluded. "Together, we can explore worlds that were once thought impossible for life. Together, we can make the galaxy bigger than it has ever been before." The response was immediate and enthusiastic. Species after species stood to welcome humanity to the galactic community. They had been waiting for someone who could help them reach the unreachable worlds. Within a year, human teams were working throughout the galaxy. Captain Mike Davis led the first human expedition to a high-radiation world that aliens had avoided for centuries. What they found there amazed everyone. "This planet is incredible," he reported back to Earth. "Rich mineral deposits perfect for mining, and the radiation levels are actually lower than some places on Earth. We could build cities here easily." Dr. Lisa Brown, a geologist, was part of a team exploring worlds with extreme weather. "These storm systems would be dangerous for most aliens," she explained. "But they are not worse than hurricanes on Earth. Humans can work here with proper equipment." The most successful project was led by engineer Tom Adams. He designed the first human-style space stations that could operate in dangerous regions of space. These stations were built tough, like human cities, and could survive conditions that would destroy normal alien structures. "We are not just surviving in these environments," Tom reported. "We are thriving." These stations can support both human and alien crews, opening up areas of space that were previously unusable. The aliens learned as much from humans as humans learned from them. Dr. Zethkar, who had started it all with his first visit to Earth, became an expert on human adaptation techniques. "Humans have taught us that there is no such thing as an uninhabitable world," he explained to his students. "There are only worlds that require different approaches to life." 3 years after first contact, the galaxy looked very different. Regions of space that had been empty were now home to human colonies and mixed human-alien research stations. Worlds that had been written off as impossible were producing resources and supporting communities. President Campbell, now in her second term, often thought about how much had changed. Earth was no longer alone in the universe, and humans were no longer confined to one world. "We were looking for aliens in all the wrong places," she said during a speech celebrating the 3rd anniversary of first contact. "We were looking for life like ours, on worlds like ours. But it turns out that what makes us special is not that we are like everyone else. What makes us special is that we are different." Children on Earth now grew up learning about hundreds of alien species and dozens of human colonies throughout the galaxy. But they also learned something more important, that their homeworld, the planet that aliens had once called impossible, was actually humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, now the head of the Galactic Communication Center on Earth, often received messages from human teams working in the far reaches of space. Each message told the same story. Humans were not just surviving in impossible places, they were making those places better for everyone. The galaxy is bigger now, she told a reporter. Not because we found more space, but because we found ways to use space that no one thought was usable. On a space station orbiting a high-radiation star, Captain Steve Logan looked out at the swirling energy storms that would instantly kill most alien species. Human workers moved through the station in simple protective gear, maintaining equipment that harvested energy from the star's dangerous output. The aliens call this place the end of safe space, he said to his crew. But look around you. We have made it home. In the distance, alien ships arrived to collect the energy that the human station produced. They stayed at a safe distance, protected by their heavy shielding, while humans worked comfortably in conditions that would destroy them. It was a perfect symbol of the new galaxy. Aliens and humans working together, each contributing what they did best. The aliens brought knowledge, technology, and peaceful cooperation. Humans brought strength, adaptability, and the ability to make homes in impossible places. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Home was not just where you could survive. Home was where you chose to build something better. And humans, it turned out, could build homes anywhere.